This is IsAware, powered by InterSoft Associates. IsAware is your connection to exploring the systems and software that power businesses like yours with expert insight, experience, and advice.
Welcome back to IsAware. I'm Chris Bentliff, and as ever, I'm joined by Hy Goldstoff and Abe Unger from InterSoft Associates. And today we've got a special guest, a client, a successful customer story that we want to share with you. Welcome, Shalom Maidenbaum. He is the founder and managing member of Maidenbaum Property Tax Reduction Group, LLC. Shalom, welcome to the show. And please tell us a little bit about yourself and Maidenbaum. Why did you start this organization? How long you've been doing it? What do you do it? And who do you do it for? Just kind of give us the 10,000-foot view.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for having me on your show. It's a privilege to be interviewed by you.
Thank you.
So I started in this business 32 years ago, 1989. I was my background is a commercial litigator and an attorney. I went off on my own to the suburbs from a firm in the city. And when you're in the suburbs, you're doing things like real estate closings, wills, and other things that have to do with home ownership. It wasn't long before a neighbor of mine came to me and said, "Here, you're a lawyer. I got this thing in the mail. My taxes are too high. Help me. You do something about it." And being young and hungry for new opportunities, I teamed up with a friend who was a paralegal at a firm, and she helped me navigate the system. And the first year I did 18 homes, experimented on all my friends and neighbors and relatives. And lo and behold, I got 17 reductions. I said, there's something to this. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Awesome.
And I got a reduction. So word traveled by word of mouth. Other people started to come to me. And it wasn't long before I was advertising in the Penny Saver. It wasn't long before I was creating relationships with other firms and doing their business. A lot of the other larger firms that did commercial work didn't want to touch residential reductions. I was willing to do anything to make a living and support my new family. So it wasn't long before I grew the business to 1,000 homes by 1994.
Wow.
After 1994 and handling the volume, we were challenged. We had old systems. We had a DOS system. And then I spoke to my friend Hy Goldstoff, who encouraged me to switch over to Windows. We were already in the process of switching with an in-house employee. We had growing pains, and it became very clear that we needed managerial control. We needed system build-outs, and Hy and InterSoft was there for us from the very beginning of our rapid expansion. We also learned how to navigate the politics of it all. And I was motivated by doing well for my clients and my neighbors, and slowly but surely bringing in all the factors together, high Nassau County taxes, understanding the dysfunction of county government's appetite to borrow money and to tax. We were able to grow to a few thousand homes. I think I'm not sure exactly what year Hy and I started our business relationship, but he was always there giving me friendly advice behind the scenes. When I was ready to formally switch out to a relationship with InterSoft, I think we were managing 8,000 cases by then, or something in that neighborhood. And it was a lot of effort. Today, we've managed through 3 different firms, me being the principal in all of them, 71,000 plus houses. And we managed that with greater ease than the year we did 400 homes and I had to copy everything by paper.
Wow.
The copy machine. So we have a lot of moving parts. Thank God we have 50 plus employees all told, and we pride ourselves on customer service. And I have reinvested over the years a lot into systems, hardware, software, just to stay ahead of the curve. And Hai has been with me, and Abe, of course, every step of the way. And we've grown together, and it's been a great relationship.
These are some of my favorite origin stories where your neighbor said, "Hey, can you help me out?" And here we are, 3 business entities and 71,000, later. That's just, it's a credit to what you're doing and how you're doing it, clearly, and how word of mouth really helped the organization grow. Hi, can you think back to one of those early conversations a zillion years ago? What was the issue that was most sort of pressing or prominent? And maybe Shalom thought it was this, but as you heard it, you said, well, that's part of it, but also this. Like, how did you start to say, we can help you grow if we can? What was that process like?
It started with, best practices. They had 2 programmers. The second one was not really working out well. They asked us to interview him. And I realized, after, giving him all the advice, I see things kind of, from a high level of view, but, talking to someone who's in there, I realized that, there's no way that the strategy could succeed for a whole number of reasons, having to do with motivation, having to do with ability, having to do with just the practices, and the biggest problem, one of the reasons the firm has grown is, Shalom's willingness to invest money in marketing as well. If you don't get the message out, it's kind of like the anti-Field of Dreams. They will not come. And anyway, so I realized that, and it was all done, by service by appointment. They would ask their programmer, and they sent out, letters, and they still do, a whole bunch of snail mail marketing. That's their predominant method of marketing, although there's certainly a lot of digital stuff nowadays. Anyway, and it was processed by appointment. We want to send a letter out to these people who have the following, metadata based on, is their home subject to a reduction? Is it overassessed? The value of the home, all sorts of different criteria. And this gentleman would write a query within SQL every time when he had a chance. He was doing other stuff. He was doing development on his own, and they just couldn't get this stuff going correctly. And we're talking about it. And I said, we had, created a search engine, not in the Google sense, but we created a search engine for a number of our clients where this kind of stuff can be done. If we can build a framework where, if we could build a framework where, one of your staff can go in there and identify what the criteria are, produce a data source to be mailed, and they use an outsourced mailing firm, which does a great job. And if we can produce that, we can shorten that cycle, so they can send the stuff out when it's fresh, based on recent items, and they can send more out. And that first year, that's all we did, and that was kind of a pilot, kind of sticking your toe in the water. And that 1 year, Shalom grew from 7,000 to 17,000. So I think that solidified what proper software can do, and the rest is history, as they say.
And what I love about that, Shalom, is it's really pre-qualifying your market. You were able to sort of say, this is who we want to connect with. These people we don't want to, for whatever reason, and these people we do, which means your success rate is going to be higher. Your relevancy to those folks, you're going to start nurturing or developing the right customer relationship before you even make a sale, because they're going to say, oh, this hits a lot of things that I need. Has that, when you started out like that, now has it been a process from your perspective of refining and refining and refining? Here we are decades later. Here we are with technology changing, and direct mail still very effective, but as Hai said, digital outlets as well. Or have you found sort of that you kind of need to reinvent things every so often to continue to get this growth or results that you're looking for?
Well, yeah, we're always willing. And in fact, that's our MO. We want to stay ahead of the curve. We want to be consumer friendly. I was brought up to understand the customer is always right, even when that's questionable. And it's just part of my nature. I mean, part of every business, part of High's nature is to be helpful and to be, like he says, the squeaky wheel. So he squeaks a lot, and he gives me some good ideas.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm receptive to ideas, and I'm receptive to being introspective. So we were a good combination, and we've grown this from really a small local endeavor to a recognized established cottage industry in Nassau County. It works uniquely here simply because the high taxes in Nassau County and the sensitivity of homeowners. I was once asked by a relative, another attorney, who's trying to figure out what the hell I do for a business. After I tried to explain it to him a few times, and he's a pretty bright guy, he said, just tell me, are you on the righteous end of this or not? So I think I said, yeah, that's a perfect term. I feel like we're always on the righteous end of the argument because we are trying to do good for the homeowner. We're trying to use data that makes sense. We are trying to make everybody's life better, including, by the way, helping the municipality. And a big misnomer in what we do is that the municipality is our antagonistic to what we're doing. They have their considerations, but really we are part of a process of refining the evaluation of people's homes, which ultimately is utilized to determine the taxes. So after 32 years of doing this, I feel very good about what we've accomplished. I understand in retrospect what we've done right. I don't know that we've ever planned it, but I do know that InterSoft being there helped organize our thinking and direct our strategies, and that's really worked well. The other thing that we've done well is understand there's more to this than programming. I call I don't know if he calls himself, but I call them my management consultants, because we have weekly meetings. We run through an agenda, and we make sure our office communications, as you grow larger, our office communications are on point and targeted. And I'll tell you a lot more about my business, but I don't want to give away all my secret sauce and trademarks. So I can tell you we've done well by a lot of homeowners. I tell people when my law firm does it, we're the kind of lawyers people like. We get money back for people or relief from high taxes, and it could not have happened without InterSoft. So for that, I'm grateful.
What an admirable characteristic and character of the business and of your leadership. That's just fantastic. I mean, you keep coming back to such positivity that we're here to help, and we've built an entire system around helping and on the side of righteous. I love that. And I like how you started talking about, well, first we dug into sort of, there were things that weren't working, and it had nothing to do with technically. It was because of this and this and this, and that gets into that.
It really had to do with process. The process just was not, the proper way to go about doing things. And
Abe, as you kind of have been a part of this the whole time, I'm thinking about our listener or our viewer who is immediately tuned into the idea of look at the success that has been had by managing the data and working towards the data and letting the data inform marketing strategies and so many other things. What have you seen from where you sit, from kind of where it started to the emerging opportunities and the many things that the business has been transforming into, and the way customer relationships have changed? What are some of the challenges that you've overcome, and what are some of the, practices that you think have been most critical to the success of so many of these initiatives?
Sure. The concept here is, how do you scale to handle all of these clients, yet handhold every single one of those homeowners. You really need to be focused on the individual, but you need to build software that's going to help you. And working with the team at Maidenbaum, Shalom, and the entire team, you're dealing with people who understand that, who understand the concept that there's value in the technology that's going to help you make your decisions, but you're still focused on the individual. You're focused on that homeowner. They're the ones that are the key. They're the ones who are important. So when you're working together with that, it's sometimes difficult to give you software that gives you those abilities, and you have to actually overcome that. But when you have people who are working with you and understand that, that's where we have success. And here we're working with, like when I started on this, I was on the back end and some of that technology that we had used for the search engines. But it was very interesting learning about the business itself and trying to understand not just the technology aspect, because yes, that helps, and understanding the value of the technology. But at Maidenbaum, they really understand what they're doing, and they really understand where they want to go. And as we've spoken about in the past, understanding that is going to help in the complexities of doing all of this. So once you understand the value of the technology and the value of how you can use that and the analysis, it's constantly changing. We're constantly adapting. We're constantly trying to be ahead of the game. That's par for the course. That's really what really happens in an organization. So you've built the software, you've gotten to a point, now you maintain it, now you work with the team, you have discussions, those weekly meetings, we talk about the strategy in terms of the business and then how the software can help. And it's been a wonderful relationship for years and years and years. Hopefully more to come.
Yeah.
So a core part of, their culture is to, make the client feel that, make the homeowner feel that he's their only client, and not feel like a number. And that's a real part of, when a client calls, when a homeowner calls, it's money out of their pocket, and we want to let him know as much as he can. And we provided, the ability together with, what they want to do and with their culture is to make the person not feel like a number, not feel like one of 71,000, but feel like one of one. And, that's what, and that's allowed them to continue to be the leader. One of the things that's allowed them to be.
Yeah, that is so.
And it matches right into their corporate culture.
Says a lot about you, Shalom, and the organization, and that sense of personalization. I mean, you get into a state of vulnerability a little bit when you start dealing with homeownership and you start dealing with taxes, and people take that personally. They take that seriously. And when you're able to meet that from a personal perspective, I think that just, it's indicative of some of the success that you pointed to, that you're able to build those relationships. Shalom, as you look at the next, few years, don't give away your strategic big plans, but what are you excited about? What's the future? What are you seeing for your organization, but also just generally, what are the trends, or what are the things that you're really spending some time kind of percolating on that's exciting for you coming up?
The next generation. Became a grandfather the past couple of years. I've got grandchildren. I've got young partners who are, who I should really call out. Amy Maidenbaum and Lee Sternberg are younger than I am, and are hopefully ushering in the next generation. So I'm excited about that. We have other ideas percolating, other products, other services that we can deliver, especially as Abe and Harry pointed out, the value, and what we learned over the years, the value of data. Data is something to be mined and something to look at scientifically, and what is the data telling you? And we've done that pretty well, I guess, as the results are tell. Data is extremely important. It takes it narrows down the guesswork. And Hari actually pointed that out to me over time, that we would like to be clear that that is something that should really direct the focus. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the prospect of being there for Nassau County homeowners for years to come. because taxes are a large issue for homeowners and people, especially in the county where your disposable income is much more significant part, or I should say rather your taxes are a much greater significant part of your disposable income. That is something that homeowners are extremely sensitive to. They're sensitive to taxes and derivatively to tax assessments.
Shalom Maidenbaum is at maidenbaumtax.com. It's been so great to meet you, and you've shared so much. Thank you for your generosity with that this morning. Hope you'll come back and share more as things grow and change, and maybe we can talk more specifically about some of those things that have been so dynamic where the data is concerned. I think it's really fascinating, and congratulations on the way you've conducted your business. It sounds really admirable, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that the customer is kind of top of mind for you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Just one minor correction. It's Maidenbaum Property Tax Reduction Group, LLC, and hopefully you'll be able to respond to some of our marketing. And if you too are a Nassau County homeowner, feel free to contact us.
Thank you so much. Guys, I will see you again next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shalom.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for IsAware, and a special thanks to our subscribers. Consider becoming one today. IsAware is powered by InterSoft Associates, who believes the more you know about your IT, the better. Visit us at InterSoftAssociates.com and schedule your free consultation to talk about how custom software can help your business.